Inquinamento e smaltimento dei rifiuti.
Pollution and waste disposal, increased consumption. First, let's talk about the causes that increase fuel consumption. Perhaps not everyone knows that appliances and devices that run on electricity, such as radios, lights, heated rear windows, and air conditioning, increase the fuel consumption of the vehicle. The main causes that involve greater use of fuel and therefore greater pollution are uneven driving with sudden acceleration and braking, circulation on poorly flowing roads with a consequent increase in engine effort, insufficient tire inflation pressure with consequent increase in tire pressure, friction between the tire and the roads, towing a trailer, opening the roof or windows, especially at medium to high speeds. Due to turbulence, traffic with snow on the vehicle roof or bulky luggage.
Inquinamento atmosferico.
Air pollution. Air pollution from vehicles is largely due to combustion-generated exhaust gases inside the engine and can cause respiratory damage and eye irritation. It increases the smog, acid rain, and the greenhouse effect. More smoke from the exhaust is a symptom of more pollution caused by the faulty engine or injectors. How can we limit pollution and fuel consumption with simple measures that we list below? Periodically check that the vehicle is always in optimal conditions of consumption and efficiency. Check that the air filter is not dirty, clogged, and replace it if necessary. Replace the catalytic converter after a certain number of kilometers, on average after 80,000 kilometers. Periodically check the fuel system of the engine, injection pump and injectors in vehicles with a diesel engine. Avoid keeping a low gear engaged for too long if it is not necessary. Avoid accelerating and braking frequently while the vehicle is in motion. Operate the air conditioning as little as possible and only when it is actually needed. Lighten the weight of the vehicle and carry less luggage, especially on the roof. Switch off the engine in the event of a prolonged stop, especially in tunnels. Choose to buy a vehicle that complies with the anti-pollution legislation. For example, buying a Euro 5 vehicle pollutes much less than a 0 Euro 1 vehicle. Finally, try to limit the use of vehicles as much as possible, preferring alternative forms of transport such as bicycles, public buses, and car sharing. In addition, there are heavy fines if it is a vehicle whose engine and muffler have been modified.
Inquinamento acustico.
Noise pollution can be caused by various reasons such as cornering at high speed, causing the tires to slide, excessive jolts of empty trailers, sudden braking or strong acceleration, especially when the vehicle is stationary. Use no need for the horn when it is not a question of road safety reasons, such as the transport of injured persons or immediate danger. Furthermore, to avoid annoying noises while driving, it is necessary to have some parts of the vehicle checked, such as the muffler silencer device, which must be in good working order. Replace it if damaged with one approved for that type of vehicle, and finally make sure that the brakes do not emit noise when braking, otherwise they must also be replaced for safety reasons. In addition to avoiding noise pollution.
Smaltimento corretto dei rifiuti dei veicoli.
Proper disposal of vehicle waste. Environmental pollution is linked to the way in which waste and fluids from motor vehicle maintenance are disposed of. It is therefore forbidden to drain the antifreeze liquid of the vehicle cooling circuit or the engine oil into the sewer, as they may not be biodegradable. In fact, they must be treated by authorized workshops, and care must be taken when disposing of the engine oil, avoiding that it comes into contact with the skin for a prolonged time. It is also forbidden to abandon a car battery on the road or on the ground, because it can cause serious damage to the environment, to the underlying aquifers. If you buy a car battery, you can hand over the used one to the dealer, who will collect it at no additional cost. On the other hand, the discharge of organic residues and dirty water from motor homes must take place in the appropriate sanitary and sanitary disposal systems. We keep in mind that the abandonment on the ground of hazardous or toxic waste, liquid oils, residues of repairs or replacements involves an administrative penalty. Finally, the owner of a vehicle who intends to demolish or scrap it must deliver it to a collection center for safety.